Over the last 4 years of my YouTube career, I've tried 43 different types of martial arts. Capoeira, Krav Maga, Wing Chun, boxing, Tai Chi, Buher, BJJ, fencing, Sambo, Taolu, tricking, parkour, sumo, Sistema, judo, wrestling, MMA, Kalari pipe, Tibetan hop guard, Jeet Kune Do, Kali, Taekwondo, Muay Thai, Aikido, Hema, Hama, Ninjutsu, Karate, Catch wrestling, Sanda, chess boxing, Kenjutsu, Savat, backhold, Shingi, Pankration, Kizi, Kyokushin, Bok, folk style, push hands, pro wrestling, Tate. Might as well have done the poke rap. The last update that I did was 2 years ago, and I had tried 28 styles of martial arts. Since then, I've tried an additional 15. To kind of close out the year, I'm going to give you some thoughts on some of the stuff I've done over the last 2 years. So let's go on a little journey. Okay, let's cut that music. I'm not that fond of these memories. Most of them I got beat up anyway. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Let's pick up where we left off. Last recap video was in January 17th of 2023. Ninja stealth training was so fun. We go out into the woods and I try like ninja stealth tactics, camouflage, moving silently, using weapons that are unorthodox but won't get you caught. That video was sick. Can I make capoeira work? Influencer boxing, me and Face Sensei. Could you beat a kangaroo in a fight? Okay, so we have the first award nominee. If you haven't watched this, oh my gosh, this video is so fun. Look at this.
Now we're in the water. This is an in the water attack. Outside the water, I think you can just circle. I think they'll slowly get tired. All right. Seal your, yeah, here he comes. All right. Scurry your way over. Here comes the seal. No. Seals don't have arms. No, seals don't have arms.
They have hands.
All right, and these seals.
Mike and I went to the zoo and we're just like, how would we fight these animals? Because humans have this weird thing that they could beat animals in a fight. There's some of them I think I could. But that one might be up there for, it could be my favorite experience. It might just be my favorite video. We were up at like 2 in the morning filming this. We were delusional. I'll decide if I want to give it an award later. You know what? I'm going to give it an award right now. Oh, wait, no, I forgot. I haven't even told you about the awards yet. I want to do something a little bit differently this year. I want to give out awards. Could be fun. The awards this year will be, along with probably some other ones that I make up along the way, best fighting style, worst fighting style. It's gonna get dicey. Single most useful thing, most painful video, my favorite experience, the least respected video, and the most time spent on a video. Oh no, I'm gonna have to make a graphic for each one of these. I hate graphics. We haven't tried a new style yet in our timeline. This video is really fun. If this wasn't such a grueling schedule to train 24 hours in UFC fight camp, I would give it my favorite experience, because just hanging out with Steven for a full day was fun. Learn to fight like the Karate Kid, compete in the Hilo games. Okay, here we go. Our first new style is backhold, Scottish kilt wrestling.
You booked a $1,000 trip not knowing what you're gonna do.
That is a pretty good summary, yes.
This one was interesting. It's a neutral position over under with a grip. You can't break the grip and you can't fall down. Those are the 2 rules. For me, the biggest takeaway for backhold was how to use different parts of your body to gain advantages when all other things are equal. We both have over-unders and the grip. But Kyle here, for example, used his head to get inside and then his hip to get throws, pretty much making the most of what you have when all else seems equal. I think that was my biggest experience from backhold. Backhold is super fun. I would definitely do this one again. Backhold, the wrestling style where you hold backs, but you don't hold back. But you do hold it back, but don't hold back on it. It's sharp. Who sharpened it? Okay, then we do Can I Make Asian Karate Work? I've done that my whole life. Pro wrestling. Is pro wrestling a style of martial arts? Do we count it? Do we give it to it? I don't know. If you're up in the air on it, if you're not sure, I also made a video where I tried to use it in MMA. That's gotta count. And then we have here, Can I Make WWE Moves Work in MMA? While I was doing the pro wrestling video, I was also taking notes on which moves I thought I could make work in a jiu-jitsu class. If you're one of the people who gives pro wrestling a hard time in the first place, I want you to think about it this way. Pro wrestling started from honest competition that eventually, as it became more and more entertainment based, it became flashier and crazier. You feel it downstairs when you take a bump. Is that That's pretty normal. All the moves still derive from that original type of wrestling. So I guess the main takeaway that I have from this style, which is professional wrestling, is that no matter how flashy something looks, I think there's a place and an opportunity to still make it work how you want. Like this here, ba-bam! That was just a body slam. So from here, I get a smaller person who's trying to get me into a triangle. I lift up, I throw him on top of the shoulders. And then in the most casual, why did I do that? I gave him the you can't see me and then went for the F5. That's not the same person. That's embarrassing on my part. But pretty much, be big, pick people up, throw people down. While it might not look as pretty as it does in pro wrestling, I obviously still think it's useful. I feel like I remember specifically during that one sweating a lot. I sweat a lot anyway, to be fair. Which is why I love the sponsor of today's video. This isn't Element, this is just a cup of hot water. But with the chocolate medley package that you can get from Element, you can turn a hot cup of water into chocolate chai. The chocolate mint I like more. My favorite is 100% the chocolate raspberry. Element is a sugar-free, delicious electrolyte drink mix. I'm actually gonna do the chocolate mint right now. Oh, buddy, look at that eruption of flavor and hydration. Are you erupting right? I can't say that. Dude, that's insane. I take it back. The mint was my favorite for sure. What people don't realize is that when you sweat, you don't just lose water, you lose salt too. That salt is pivotal to keep your body performing and even just kind of living throughout the day. Usually I start to cramp up if I don't have enough salt in me, if I'm too dehydrated. I can't tell you the last time I had a muscle cramp. For every one of these difficult videos or challenges you see me do, I am drinking Element throughout. For workouts you don't see me do, I'm still drinking Element. This stuff is my jam. You can ask anybody I work out with. I talk about this stuff all the time. If you want fewer muscle cramps, if you want to perform better, if you want to have more regular digestion, heck, if you want to keep your skin more hydrated. If you order using my link, which is drinklmnt.com/Sensei Seth, you can get one free sample pack with every order. Even if you've already ordered before, use my link and get your free sample pack. Again, that is drinklmnt.com/Sensei Seth. 100% money back guarantee. If you don't like it, you keep all the salt, you tell them you didn't like it, you get your money back. No fuss, no muss, no coconuts. Let's get back to what we were doing. Okay, and then I moved on to Savate. Man, Savate is something I've essentially been doing my whole life, and I had no idea. I learned that most of the kicks in modern karate come from Savate. I feel like we've been talking about this a lot lately. I was kicking people in the head and like saying bonsoir to like their brain cells. It wasn't sayonara at all. So that gave me a little bit of a complex for a minute or two. But overall, Professor Nicholas is the coolest guy. If you don't know anything about it, neither did I. Like, all that I know. The French music right off the bat is so messed up. I love a good thematic video. The only copyright-free music you can find online is like the most egregious stuff.
Nicolas 1998 former.
I know that there's some videos from like the 80s that kind of break it down and they wear tights, and they kick a lot. And that's about all the information I have. Our journey doesn't start at the seminar. It starts at the IHOP, where I'll be meeting my Savate sommelier. Nice to meet you.
Well, nice to meet you, and thanks for coming.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Hold on. That's the guy. That's from the video. What we just watched like 10 seconds ago.
Hi, I'm Nicolas 1998 former French Cup winner.
That's him. That's so I don't know why. This video, for me, it's just the best. I love this video. But also, this video might be the most painful one. And I'm not joking. You wouldn't... Kicking with shoes on, especially to the shins, holy shnikes. Dude, this one hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna put this one as a contender for most painful. It is officially our first nominee for most painful video. The bruises that I had afterwards, go great heavens. Is that where all my blood's going? And then from there, I learned about the Wing Chun dummy. All these members videos are uncut versions of the big videos, so like you get way more content. I trained Muay Thai for 4 years, that's nothing new. I tried judo. Technically, I talked about judo in that big 28 style summary video that I did. But judo is by far the most misunderstandingly difficult martial art in my opinion.
Seth, welcome to judo.
To judo? Okay.
Judo.
Try. It is hard, tiring. Man, judo is wildly difficult. I did some fight scene training at 8711 where they trained John Wick. That was the sickest. That one might be, oh man, that one might be one of my favorite experiences too. This video is so fun. That's pretty sick. You guys hate the fight scene stuff though. I don't know why. This one's definitely. Oh, 53,000 views. Not really a new style, so I'm not going to go too in depth on it. But you're missing out if you haven't seen that video. 100%. Look at this. Watch this part right here. And it's the most played part too. Of course it is. I didn't even know that. You ever see me crunched up before? Get ready. Here we go.
Action.
It's called a scorpion. This is so cool.
That was your best one.
That was insane. Come on. You gotta get... I do some really dumb stuff. That one was kind of sick. Okay, from there, I did my karate black belt video. That one might have to go up for most time spent. Oh, I tried katana cutting. We've got a new style video. Woo! New style, baby. Let's go. Fear into hearts. Kenjutsu. Like no other. These are some of the sharpest and most durable blades that have ever been forged. And today, dude, come on. You shouldn't go through life. Let me be clear. Kids, you should not go through life only valuing things that are cool. I want to put a big emphasis on that. Sometimes uncool things are important. Sometimes stuff's just too cool to ignore though. This is Kenjutsu. If you think of Kendo, it's the art of fighting and it's like the way of the life of Ken. Kenjutsu is like the cutting style. So pretty much we're just cutting these tatami, and I'm okay at it probably.
What?
This was way harder than I thought it was going to be. We got to see some sick swords from Mike Yamasaki here. I got to also hang out with Jeff Imada. Jeff Imada's the coolest. This one might be up there for my favorite experience. What is my takeaway from Kenjutsu? No matter how sharp your sword is, if not used properly and with great care and technique, it doesn't do anything. Kevin, that didn't cut it. If I walked over here and I whip this bad boy out and then I hit you like this. This is a sharp sword too, by the way. You better mind your P's and Q's. Like that video now. Subscribe, do it! Sorry. I saw old Mikey Y doing his thing and I got all excited. Be diligent about your craft and the technique and precision that goes into it. Oh, and then I also entered a judo tournament. It's so difficult. Judo matches are so much harder than I thought. We've already talked about this. Oh, and then we get into catch wrestling with Mr. Eric Paulson. Something you should know about me is that I'm not very good at wrestling. So I sought after possibly one of the most revolutionary wrestling coaches of wrestling kind. Eric Paulson, owner of CSW and recognizer of man.
Weren't you here yesterday?
No, sir.
Oh, there was a guy that looked like you here yesterday.
It's not this man, but, you know, today we're going to be Where'd you hear this? Dude, I'm not going to lie, man. I crack myself up sometimes. So catch wrestling is like one of the earlier styles of wrestling, and it has so many submissions. Eric Paulson here is known for revolutionizing leg locks in like the modern day. This dude was doing it before anybody else was, and he went through a nasty series of locks on me, which is so kind of him.
But you wiped it off. So now I might have to go for a reverse arm bar or come back to a side control for this lock. And now we go to a different lock. There's always wrist locks at the end of everything. There's a wrist lock here, a wrist lock here, there's a wrist lock here. You just wrist lock yourself. And cheating, and then his arm pops out. Thank you. The wrist lock, the shoulder lock here. Toe holds. If I'm choking you here, I come up, my hands are here, look at the neck crank here. Oh my gosh.
And In this video, Eric Paulson just pretty much puts me through different locks for 30 minutes straight. I'm not kidding. 30 minutes of locks. And he didn't slow down one time. We even got to face locks. I don't think that there's a part of a body that Eric Paulson couldn't submit.
Is there a lock for every joint in the body? Anywhere there's a joint, there's a way to put it in a lock?
Goes neck, face,
Yep.
like jaw, side of the head, jaw,
Yeah.
eye socket,
Yeah.
upper lip, nose, bridge of the
Upper lip.
nose.
Never mind. I should
No,
not.
you want to know this.
I
Face the
should not
camera.
have-
Oh yeah, you got to know this.
I should not have asked.
Okay, so number one, you use the bone. This goes right in the orbital, and we usually pull like this. Okay, we also go on the bridge of the nose. This is nasty. Go on the base of the nose. You go on the upper lip. We go on, but be careful because that will dislocate. You go on the side of the jaw. You go on the side of the head. Okay, then we use the other side right here.
You're like a reverse chiropractor.
And sometimes we go in the nose, and then we go in the eye at the same time. So it's a double lock.
Yeah, no, that face is how I felt for like 3 days later. I'd say when it comes to catch wrestling, I'd say the main lesson that I learned is that anything is attackable. Anything. If it has feelings, it can hurt. If it has joints, it can be unjointed. And if it has structure, it can break. That's what I took away from catch wrestling. Man, I kind of go on a tear here. After catch wrestling, I do another sumo tournament. And then I go to the Sandow World Championships. Oh man, that might be my favorite experience. So the Sandow World Championships were incredibly cool.
You're down on point. Keep shot single leg. Pop, pop. There you go.
Learning about a style for the very first time at the highest amateur level and watching and getting to know the people who are competing in it. Like I got to meet Livingston and Coach Ian and Corey, and man, that was a fun experience. This video is fantastic. Then I tried chess boxing. Ooh, chess boxing's a new style. I'll talk about Sandow in a minute because we take an actual Sandow class here shortly. So chess boxing is, if you're not familiar and you haven't watched this video, you jerk! It's round based. So you have 2 minutes of chess, 2 minutes of boxing. And then that's kind of like, think of that as like the cumulative first round. Then 2 minutes of chess, 2 minutes of boxing. Long story short, you're playing a game of chess and you're also boxing at the same time. If you knock them out, you win. If you win in chess, you win. And I did this with my guy Matt here. Matt is a world champion in chess boxing. But surprisingly, the thing that I learned most was how coordinated your breath and your fighting capabilities along with your brain are. There's kind of like times where you need to utilize one or the other, and one cool way to access that is through breath. That's what I thought the coolest part of this video was.
Yeah.
Okay? The downer breath. After a boxing round, we want to calm down, be able to focus on the board, not be thinking about the past boxing round, not be thinking about the next boxing round, not be thinking about anything except for the board's position and pattern recognition and visualization.
Right.
And begin.
My face. I look like I got that just smelled something face. Anyway, that video is super fun. Chess boxing is definitely underrated. What's the best move for self-defense? Learning from books only. I think this one's kind of underrated. Real boxers try VR boxing. That one's fun. And then here we go. Let's get into Sandow. That's our next style. Man, Sandow is a strong contender for best fighting style. Catch is up there too. But Sandow, man, it's such a unique combination of things. You get this combination of punching, kicking, and wrestling. Specifically takedowns from a standing position. You don't want to fall down with the takedown. So all fighting is geared towards staying standing and hitting as hard as you can, as fast as you can. It's point-based, but you can still win by knockouts. So you want to make sure you hit hard, you hit fast, and you don't leave it there for too long because you can get taken down, which ultimately kind of messes you up. Like, all those things apply to fighting in general. There's definitely a meta. Because there is a point system, there is a meta that goes along with it. There's things that work better than others. It's not just the best fighting style. I think I have my single most useful thing from this video. Let's see if I can find it. It was this takedown right here that Livingston hits. This is like his specialty. I've seen him do it so many times in competition, and I've only seen him compete once. This single leg to a sit down here, I don't remember what he calls this. There's just something about it. I've hit it in my own sumo competition, and it was so fun. Dropping down out of attacking range, getting a leg, dropping the person down, staying away from their center of gravity, taking them down to the ground, staying standing. Single most useful thing goes to this little technique. Is it the most useful thing? Actually, maybe not. I'm gonna keep it stamped though. Man, once again, back-to-back bangers. We go from Sanda to Pankration. This one, I think, might be my favorite video, though. Pankration, an ancient Greek combat sport that combined boxing and wrestling, had almost no rules. He bit me! No clothes.
No.
And was brought to the original Olympics in 648 BC.
Pan in Greek means all.
Okay.
And kratos is the word meaning power or force or violence. And so the pankration was a sport, a sort of all-in brand of fighting.
Oh crap. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Why is it my favorite video? I'll tell you. Don't ask. Don't ask. I'll tell you. You don't have to ask. Don't beg. Oh my gosh. Ew. Ugh. Number 1. Once again, in Lubbock, Texas with Coach Corey Livingston. Reason number 2. All of this footage was taken from my honeymoon. So all of this footage was actually taken by me from the Olympic Training Center. And then also, I just love learning about the history. Oh, and David. I forgot about David. How can I forget about David? David is the nicest. We did a podcast after this. We talked about the purpose of winning and the importance of winning. David's like a little wizard of knowledge and information. You can tell he really cares about this stuff.
No, don't keep it close. Technically, they weren't totally naked. So they would wear a string around their waist, right?
The penis was what they call infibulated, i.e. it was tied with a dog leash,
right,
as they call it.
So you're not completely naked.
So to have someone who has as much wrestling, jiu-jitsu, shuai jiao knowledge as Corey does, and as much of the informational and historical information as David does, and then to make this whole thing and actually visit the area, it was the funnest time. Man, that one might be my favorite experience. That one's got to be up there too. I don't know if I can give it out yet. I gotta wait to see. I gotta wait to see if I can give it out later, maybe. Man, this is tough. What did I learn from Pankration? How about this? I think from Pankration, I learned that sometimes you just have to strip away everything else and focus on the bare essentials. Essentially, the more rules you add, the less closely related to fighting it becomes. That makes sense? Also, these dudes were wrestling in the sand, like sand up the nostrils, naked, punching and kicking each other, breaking their hands. I think a big takeaway for me from this was the circumstances in which I'm competing could always be worse. Long story short, people have gone through far worse to get the dub. And then I went from Pankration to a medieval combat tournament. Holy smoke. I just gotta know, am I your favorite YouTuber or not? I'm not ignorant to how conceited I sound right now. I've gotta be your favorite. Top 5? Top 5, right? At least you can give me top 5. If you're not subscribed and I'm in your top 5, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you. This was so sick. Like, everything about this was so fun. Everybody was so nice to me. The clashing of the weapons and the sparks flying everywhere. It was electric. It was so fun to watch. Once I realized that nobody was actually getting... Most people were not getting hurt. I got to count all the funny hats. That was one of the best parts. Head dude in charge. What a great caption. There's a hat. Funny hat counter is my favorite part of this video. If you're not familiar, I just count all the funny hats that I see by the end. There's a lot. And one of the most commented things is how I missed a funny hat. I think you missed the one at 22. Here we go. Oh, no, I did miss that one. Dang. How'd I miss the mushroom head one? That being said, not a new style though, so I physically cannot say, oh man, that's up there for favorite experience. Let's keep moving. I don't know. I feel like one might stand out. Tai Chi, I guess it's Tai Chi Chuan. Tai Chi push hands. This one was a very fun video. I knew y'all weren't gonna watch it if I just called it push hands. So I called it I Tried Tai Chi, Not What I Expected. Get ya baited! Best martial arts YouTuber in the game, baby. You don't even know what you want. I do. If I give you what you think you want, It's going to be way too hard to find 99% of the time, and you're very rarely going to get videos. You guys are a picky bunch. So instead, I'll trick you. There, I said it. I'll trick you every now and then, and you'll like it too, and you'll thank me for it, and you'll say, Seth, yum yum yum, thank you for the tricks. Your content feeds me. You'll probably say something like that. And you should too, because this is another very fun video where I learn a lot of cool stuff. My takeaway from this push hands was that you have to be willing to give up position when necessary. And when I say give up position, if somebody puts their hand on me, there is plenty of times that it would be more opportune for me to push away and let them lose the capability of pushing me to then get something back in return. If someone gets a hard hand on me here, instead of fighting it and being like, no, it might just be better for me to be like, sucker, what's up? What's up? One of these. Then from that, I do what's the best belt in martial arts. That's a very fun video. What's the best weapon in your kitchen? Stupidest video I've made the whole year, probably.
Ow! That's not, it's no hard! It's ow!
Also one of my favorites.
Like there's the break it and then that's an option.
Smash it over your head.
Yeah.
No, like go for it, smash it.
No, I'm not doing that. Smash it?
Yeah, smash it on your head. See what it feels like.
Yeah, it's really hard.
You gotta go hard to break it. It won't hurt.
In here?
Yeah, go for it.
There's no chance of
Go
doing
for
that.
it. Break it. I dare you to break it.
Anything with Mike is always a good time. I tried Keezy. This one was a little controversial to you guys. Rumblings from you guys about how much you hated it. I was kind of surprised, to be honest. You guys called this some BS, and do I wear this shirt too much? Keezy is a martial arts style dedicated to self-defense specifically, with a unique high guard that is always attached to you, and usually the same things that you're defending with, you're hitting with. I don't hate the concept. I'm kind of surprised so many other people did. The main complaint that everybody got was that it's too centered on defending the head. I addressed this, and I made another video maybe a month or two later called The Issue with Self-Defense. It should have been titled The Issue with... If there's a knife, sure, knife stabbings happen to the body a lot. But for the most part, nobody's coming out like Canelo in a street fight, faking the cross, boom, and then ripping a nasty liver shot. That doesn't happen. In this video, I show footage of 50 fights, and I count how many body shots are thrown. It's like less than 5. And most of those are in the same fight. Punch to the head, guy falls in the train tracks, another punch to the head, third punch to the head. Did not see that. Oh my gosh, that is that man's full butt. That was hit. Punch the head, punch the head, punch the head, punch the head, punch the head. Punch the head, punch the head, punch the head. I think it's totally justified to be critical of things that you're weary of. But then once critical, the whole point is you should see both sides of it to decide, okay, am I critical of this for a good reason or not? Instead of just letting it go and being like, nah, I'm just critical. That's it. Every style has its weakness. That's just how it goes. I think my main takeaway from this was I will use the high guard in situations from now on. And also just the ruthless aggression. For this next video, does jiu-jitsu have infinite techniques? That is a fascinating topic to me. Like the concept of trying to count something that's uncountable. Over the span of 7 days, I went to as many jiu-jitsu classes as I could. I did math. Crazy, I know. I came up with a number that I thought was reasonable for how many techniques there actually are. This is a fun video. This one is definitely less appreciated than it should be. I won a national sumo championship, no big deal. I tried Kyokushin. Okay, new karate style that I hadn't tried before. I'm very familiar with Kyokushin, but I'd never tried it. This one was very unique. It was a camp and it was a testing, so I got to see a lot of different aspects of what they deem most important, being that they practiced it at the camp, right? The thumping is one of the things that I think Kyokushin finds most important. Kyokushin gets like the opposite treatment that Keezy gets, which is really funny. Oh, this is one of the more painful styles. We'll talk about that in a second. As you've seen before, Kyokushin keeps very close to the center because most of the main targets that you're going for are the legs and the body. Kicks can go up to the head, but punches cannot. So lots of people like to say, oh, well, yeah, but this whole thing would look different if you could punch the head. Yeah, 100%. Does that make it less useful? I don't think so. I think that it's pretty easy to adapt from this, especially when you're blocking head kicks, to a higher guard. The way that they fight is like the most nasty combinations of pain that I've ever had to deal with. The pressure is overwhelming. And I think it teaches an incredibly important concept that people just gloss over in 99% of martial arts. And it's how to hit barehanded hard. Like in most karate styles, there's the Makiwara, which I built in the 28 styles video. But these people are hitting each other. This guy was a super hard spar. This was one of the head instructor's sons. Like, he held back that spinning wheel kick. He put pressure on me. I couldn't throw my own spinning rear. All of these kicks to the legs and to the body hurt. That didn't feel great. That didn't feel great. I don't think that felt great for him. I throw a hook kick up to the head. The punch to the body, I'm trying to stay away from him and throw my own kicks. I also had bunches around back to back. I probably was spinning too much looking back. I remember being like, I threw these leg kicks hard. Those punches were hard. That was nice. He skimmed me with his big toe. They are harder than you think, 100%. My takeaway from Kyokushin is when you want to get a good, hard, live round of sparring, if you take away all the things that are most dangerous, you can amplify the intensity. So because you're not hitting the head, you can throw everything else really hard. Like the legs, you can smash. The body, you can smash. Plenty of people do this with sparring in the first place. They say 20% to the head, 80% to the body as far as power goes. Plenty of places spar like this. The only difference is they don't throw any punches to the head. I like Kyokushin. This was a very fun experience. A whole weekend of karate camp. It was a great time. Okay, so next I move into Fa Jin or Xing Yi. Fa Jin is the power. Xing Yi is the style we're practicing here. I'm not gonna lie, this one is one of the ones I had a harder time understanding.
Go.
Oh, I see.
It's like idea.
Yeah. Like your
I didn't see. I don't see.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
I didn't, but that's no. So this video was Demetrius teaching me the concept of Fa Jin, which is internal power. It's kind of like this utilization of something I still don't fully understand. I think it's hard to explain in a Western way. My takeaway is rather than it being like a usage of muscles or tendons or joints, or instead of a usage of a body, I think of it as more a thought process. Like if I think about being faster, there's a good chance I could be faster. The tendons to muscles to energy, I'm still skeptical of it. I'm skeptical, and I went out and tried it. But this dude is fast. Like, it's hard to argue with whatever he's saying because he's doing it. You know what I mean? He's doing it right in front of my face. Also, one of the biggest comments I got in this one, everybody's like, oh, Seth, that sound that you hear, let's see if I can find it.
Do that again? Hold on, sorry, I wasn't looking.
It's like a baseball. You remember the baseball?
Yeah, I know. The baseball, that's not what I'm curious about. Let me...
Open. Yeah.
Mine didn't make that sound.
The sound that you guys hear is not the entire sound. A lot of you commented, oh, that's the sound of his hand hitting his body, his opposite hand. You can actually hear my hand do the same sound. I couldn't hear it,
that's not what I'm
but you
curious
could
about.
hear it right then. This is the sound I'm listening for.
Yeah.
The sound of it whipping through the air is really alarming. Watch his left hand. I'm right there. I can promise you. I have audio. I'm not going to do the work to find it, but I have audio footage where I held the mic up next to his hand and you can hear it. There's something that was happening there. Witchcraft and wizardry. Okay? Also, I feel like we got to talk about this. Sometimes y'all think I'm dumb. Sometimes y'all think I'm really dumb. You comment something that's so, if it were true, it would be so insanely obvious. You're like, oh, Seth, he's slapping his hand. I would see, and I would say, do that, but don't touch your other leg. I would see that. I want you guys to trust me, okay? I'm looking out for you too. Just sometimes, if it's something that you feel is super obvious, it would be super obvious. Okay, let's keep going. Then I learned about the true meaning of Kung Fu, which means good work, kind of. Then I did Tao Lu, which is just contemporary wushu with weapons. And then I entered into the World Sumo Championship. That one is a nominee for most painful. But it's not It's not like most painful on the outside. That one was most painful on the inside. And then I tried Boch, a 3-day wrestling camp with Lavelle Marshall here. Might not guess it from this interaction here. I really like the Jutuk. Getting a grip on it, it's such a hard, firm leather. It feels so strong when you actually get a grip that you're looking for. It's like a judo gi, but your hands don't slip off. It's so powerful. The history and the culture of the style is so fun. And then also the style of wrestling, like the no time limit. It's pretty methodical and slow until the action kicks off and then it's like, ah! And then it like maybe starts to simmer down. All my matches went pretty quick. I won the mock Nadam. I won the foot sweep that we actually practiced during the camp. So this one is also another one of the most painful ones. Because I look for this foot sweep so often, instead of sweeping with the inside of my foot, I'll hit with my shin. My shin was battered and bruised for 2 months. 2 months I was bruised after this because I'm just kicking dudes. My main takeaway for Boch though is that, and this feels obvious, but for me, this camp kind of unlocked the concept of body positioning during takedowns.
You're strong and you have stuff, but you got to make those stuff your thing. You need to have intentions and commit to it.
Yeah.
It's almost like you tap dancing with your techniques.
I think for me it's a lot of confidence in the techniques that I don't feel like I've nailed yet.
Yes.
So if I put too much weight in but I don't have the correct technique, I'm afraid I'm gonna go.
But guess what? We're training. You should do that.
Yes, sir.
This is when he should do it. You should fall down and say, okay, and then I say, you say, what was wrong with that? With this angle and that angle. I can't correct you if you don't commit to it.
Fair, yeah. Okay.
Like you should fall 1,000 times in that technique until that technique don't fall no more on its own.
I feel like I learned a lot that weekend. That was also a very difficult weekend. From there, I went into one of my favorite videos of the year, Abraham Lincoln, America's Greatest Wrestler. Super underappreciated video, 82,000 views, which I mean, like I get it's a lot, but you know, we do a lot of work to, like I put a lot of work into these videos. This is one of my favorites for sure. We just do folk style wrestling. Also, you guys let me know that a top hat is not the same as what Abraham Lincoln wore. I feel dumb, that's my bad. Kind of a small detail though for you to be upset about, right? I flew down Josh Kostler, who was recommended to me by a good friend, and he's such a fun human being with so much knowledge and enthusiasm for what he's talking about, with also such a interesting hairdo. I had like just learned that Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler 2 weeks ahead of time. And there's something in me that had to know more, and I'm so glad that I found somebody who knew so much and could help me, one, understand the actual wrestling aspect of what was happening back then, but two, just give me like some good A.B. Lincoln lore. I was all lored up after the weekend was over. Lored up. Yeah, this video was so fun. We went to a local spot where there was an important Civil War event that happened. I learned a lot. I got to learn some new cool techniques. We talked about the choke slam, which was invented by Abe Lincoln. Did you know that? And I made a new friend, and I just had such a fun time filming this video. And then from there, I made my video about how wrestling changed the world. I did my dojo storm on Shintaro's judo class. That was so fun. The truth about the samurai code. This is where we talk about tate. Tate is a style, like there's not a lot of styles I've never heard of before when you say the name of them. This was one of them. Yoshi was the most fun guy while also seeming so serious and so knowledgeable. Once again, this is somewhat related to Kenjutsu that I had learned before, but it is a more performative, a more theatrical martial art. I wanted to make the main concept of this video about Bushido though, and kind of the misconceptions with how we see samurais and their moral codes. And it's a little easier to have a really strict moral code when you're not like fighting people. I just thought that was an interesting concept that Yoshi talked about, and that's what I wanted to dive in on. And at the same time, we got to do some sick fight scene work, which once again, I know how you guys hate the fight scenes. What is it about it? Can you explain it to me in the comments maybe? Anyway, doing the fight scenes was so cool. You have to have so much attention to detail to keep yourself safe and your partner safe, but you also want to look good. You want to look realistic. It's a very fun experience. And the last style that we learned for the year, right? We did a Central Park style interview on why people think they can fight. I must have asked 75 people with my buddy Eric, hey, do you want to be a part of a YouTube video? I'm asking people about what they know about martial arts and their capabilities of defending themselves. Everybody you see in this video is everybody who said yes. a resounding amount of people said no. And then I made this video with Thrill of the Fight, which was a peak for me for the year. I'm 31 days straight of playing VR boxing. So let's give some awards out. Best fighting style. Right now, I'm between pankration and Chinese kickboxing. Catch wrestling could be up there. I think the nature of both of these that they're, I don't know. My heart kind of wants to give it to Sanda. Is that crazy to say? Like, I just am such a big fan of the style, but the meta is kind of insane. I'm gonna say Pankration. I'm gonna say the old school bare knuckle boxing, and I'm not talking about the ones on your hands. No, that's terribly inappropriate. Did I miss any? I think I'm gonna be second guessing this the whole time. All right, worst fighting style. This one is easy. It's easy. It's gonna be the more performative based martial arts. What I want to illustrate, though, is that doesn't mean they're not great and important martial arts for the history of fighting in general. So you got pro wrestling, performative, but not the least effective because it has so many derivatives from martial arts, and everything they do still definitely hurts. I think it's between Taolu and Tate. Tate is the sword style, Taolu was the weapons video we did. I think I'm gonna go with the overall weapons from Taolu. Now, you should, at this point, say, yeah, Seth, duh. That's, like, not the point of the style. I agree. Good observation. I think my most painful was probably Boch, because the way that it affected my hands and my grips and the kicking of the shins and the falling down over and over again. I think Boch was the most painful style I tried this year. I think it was Boch. So Boch, congratulations, you did it. Most painful style. My favorite experience was not the sumo championship video. My favorite experience, the Australia animals video. It was in the middle of filming USDC. I was hanging out with a bunch of my friends. I was going to the zoo. I was making stupid jokes and doing hypotheticals about how I could beat up animals. It's such a dumb video, and I think that's what makes it my favorite. My favorite experience has got to go to Australian animals. Least appreciated, man. I'm gonna give least appreciated to my video over at 8711, the action fight scene video. I think this was such a banger, and I knew you guys weren't gonna watch it, but man, it was just so fun. And actually, you know what the other underappreciated one is? Maybe it's Abraham Lincoln. I'm gonna give it to fight scene training. I think that one is the one. My favorite video, man. Oh, you know what? It is definitely my World Sumo Championship video. I think Ken and American win the World Sumo Championships. I think that's my favorite video. I didn't love the outcome, but it's the highest level of competition I've ever gotten to do. It's also the most time spent on a video by far. I trained for a full year. Like, I had to win the national championship first to be able to get to go there, and then the training from that, plus the training for the Worlds, plus like the whole flying and the time it took to edit, the travel, all of it was obviously so much. So, most time spent on a video, Sumo World Championships. Did I win anything for it? No, absolutely not. Kyokushin video is really good. How Wrestling Changed the World was really good. Man, the Boxing Strangers in VR one was really good. This one is really good, Sumo Wrestler. There's no way I can pick. What's harder, striking or grappling? That one was really good. Self-Defense Through Decades was so fun. That one was a really fun one to do. What's the best belt? Ooh, that one's up there. Man, I don't know if I can pick, guys. I don't know if I can pick. You know what? I think we're going to stick with Ken and American win the Sumo World Championships. I think it's an all-around, heartbreaking, inspiring, everything. I like everything about the video. I really do. Obviously, I lost and that sucks, but I allowed myself to make creative decisions that I don't usually. Ken and American win the Sumo World Championships. That's my favorite video of the year, probably. Could be Kyokushin. Kyokushin was a really good video. I don't know. Comment down below what was your favorite. Comment what you think was my best. I don't know. I've got a list of styles that I want to try in the future so I can add to this 43 different styles I've tried. It's insane. And it's thanks to you guys. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. I hope that you come into the new year refreshed, ready to take on life. Don't do your resolutions, okay? Look, just make a decision every day to do something that's good for you. It doesn't have to be a resolution. If you stop it, you shouldn't have to be like, oh, well, wait till next year. You know what I mean? Just more than anything, I love looking back into this stuff. I think that it's hard to see how far you've come if you don't look back to see where you were. And that's kind of what this video was for me. I love looking back through these moments. And yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of just did the thing that I hate most what TV shows do, where you get like a montage, a memory episode where like everything is just old stuff that you've already seen before. Oh man, I just did that. Dang. All right, we'll have new content soon, obviously. Until next time, peace.